What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. And before we get into this one about Bill O'Brien officially becoming the New England Patriots' new offensive coordinator, I already know I'm going to get comments saying, hey bro, you're a little bit late. And for those who are subscribed, which if you're not, make sure you guys do subscribe. You guys would know I posted this on my community tab. I've been sick the last few weeks, still not feeling good, but I really wanted to push through and get these videos done for you because this is a really exciting time for not just the Patriots, but even Pats Nation. Get a new offensive coordinator in here, having a young quarterback in Mac Jones. There was a lot to look forward to, and especially the 2023 season after the very, very, very big disappointing season that we had in 2022. But the New England Patriots are officially putting a pin in the Matt Patricia era as the New England Patriots offensive coordinator. His one-year stint with the New England Patriots was let's just say 1 year too many, as I think we can all agree on. But we all knew that changes needed to be made. You know, we all even agreed that changes needed to be made while training camp and the preseason were still occurring, and the New England Patriots went all season long throughout 2022 with the same coaching staff, using 6 to 7 different offensive schemes throughout the season, a recipe for absolute disaster for any coach, even the greatest coach in the game in Bill Belichick. And of course, you know that there's a big problem when the New England Patriots themselves come out about a week after the Patriots' final game against the Buffalo Bills there in Week 18, and they post on their own social media, whether that was Twitter or whether that was Instagram, and with their own professional accounts, they let Pats Nation know that they are going to be interviewing offensive coordinator candidates. Like, that's how bad the 2022 season was for the Patriots. Now, New England did interview a lot of different guys, about 5 different guys that they did interview for the offensive coordinator position. Some were in-house, some were out-of-house, but all were within the Patriots family, whether they played for the Patriots at one point, whether they coached here at one point, whether they worked with Bill Belichick at some point. There was some in-house connection with all 5 of the guys that Bill Belichick, Gerard Mayo, and Robert Kraft essentially had in for the offensive coordinator position. But I said at the time when I made that video on the guys that they met with, I said, it's really inevitable that they are going to sign Bill O'Brien. We all expected that they were going to sign Bill O'Brien. It was just a matter of doing so. It was just like in 2021. You know, we knew that the New England Patriots were going to draft Mac Jones. It was just a matter of them actually doing so. It was a matter of them actually confirming and selecting him with that 15th overall pick to ultimately put a pin in it. And it was definitely an interesting journey for Bill O'Brien, ultimately officially becoming the Patriots offensive coordinator because, you know, from what we were hearing, the Patriots hadn't contacted him. He hadn't heard from the Patriots. He was still scouting for Alabama. We heard that the Patriots were bringing in other offensive coordinators before Bill O'Brien. And then one day, we just hear the Patriots have concluded an interview with Bill O'Brien. We didn't hear that they were going to reach out to him. We didn't hear that they were planning on having one. We just one day heard that they concluded an interview with him, and a few days later, we hear that he's officially hired. And this has actually been a really fast process here for Bill O'Brien, already being signed. But also for those of you who don't know, the Patriots were selected to coach the East-West Shrine Bowl this year, and Bill O'Brien is actually going to take on a supervisor role at the East-West Shrine Bowl, along with Gerard Mayo and Bill Belichick. And now, obviously, this is a move that doesn't surprise anyone, not Patriots fans, probably not even Patriots players, and just league-wide. This is something that many people expected to happen, but this was actually something that I thought the Patriots were going to do a little over a year ago. When Josh McDaniels left for the Raiders, and ultimately, we didn't have a new offensive coordinator, and we were hearing that Matt Patricia was going to take over the reins. Everybody was saying, you know, Bill O'Brien, what's going on? And I told you guys, well, Bill O'Brien had 1 more year left on his contract at Alabama with Nick Saban. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick basically having a brotherhood. They don't like to poach from each other. Belichick was going to essentially wait for Bill O'Brien for his contract to be done and then take him from Alabama. And while I definitely think there were better options than having Matt Patricia and Joe Judge run your offense in 2022, because it was, at the end of the day, the death of the Patriots' 2022 season, this is exactly what happened with Bill O'Brien. Contract was up at Alabama, and now he's in New England. And at the end of the day, you probably heard this every single place that you've either read or watched a video about Bill O'Brien coming to New England. But I mean, this is really just a perfect marriage for the Patriots. A guy who was in the building at one point. He was a head coach in the NFL. He was a head coach at the collegiate level at one point. He was just most recently the offensive coordinator for Alabama. So he can really come in and marry a Patriot system, an NFL system, with a young college system also. And like I said, he spent many years in New England. That entire time, he was not the offensive coordinator. He was an offensive assistant in 2007, wide receivers coach in 2008, a quarterbacks coach from 2009 to 2010, and then our offensive coordinator in 2011 before he became a head coach at Penn State from 2012 to 2013. As we all know, after that, he became the Houston Texans head coach, a position that at the time he rightfully deserved after completely flipping what we knew of Penn State at that time, spending with the Houston Texans from 2014 to 2019. And then in 2020, he was also their head coach, but he also took on the role of general manager, which essentially led to the fall of Bill O'Brien. After 2020 being fired, he spent from 2021 to 2022 with Alabama as their offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and is now back in New England as their offensive coordinator. So again, a guy who's been in many different positions throughout his coaching tenure, but he hasn't just worked in one specific position. He's worked many, many times with quarterbacks, especially as of late, something the Patriots really need. You know, we do still need an actual quarterbacks coach, but having somebody like Bill O'Brien who actually knows how to mold and work with a quarterback is going to be very, very, very beneficial for Mac Jones. Obviously, also being a former wide receivers coach will also come into play there. But again, knowing that Bill O'Brien was a former head coach in the NFL, he already knows the Patriots system from being here for several years. And even being slightly familiar with Mac Jones, I think is going to be very beneficial. They already have a not a close connection, but a familiar connection with each other. When Mac Jones was actually heading into the draft process, that's when Bill O'Brien was coming in to be the offensive coordinator for Alabama. So they are familiar with each other. Mac Jones, as we all know, is actually teaching Bill O'Brien the Alabama offense. And I think something that, we've really wanted to see since the Patriots drafted Mac Jones was we wanted to see them marry some of the things he did at the collegiate level that made him a first-round pick, that made him so successful, and marry that into the Patriots offense. Because I think with the Patriots offense and what we've done over the last several years, mixed with some of the great things that, Nick Saban did over there in Alabama with Mac Jones, could really make the Patriots a top offense in the NFL. But unfortunately, last year we had Matt Patricia, a defensive-minded coach, who really doesn't know how to run an offense, doesn't know offensive schemes or offensive plays very well, or just how to call plays or how to run an offense, which really led to not using Mac Jones to his strengths or just not knowing how to use Mac Jones or the key pieces around him efficiently. And that one year that Bill O'Brien was the official offensive coordinator for the Patriots in 2011 before ultimately he left, the Patriots had a record of 13-3. They had a really good season. They won the divisional round 45-10 against Denver. They won the conference championship 23-20 versus the Ravens, but ultimately lost in the Super Bowl against the Giants 17-21. But that Bill O'Brien-led offense was able to take them to a 13-3 record and a Super Bowl. When Bill O'Brien led the Patriots offense in 2011, they ranked third in the NFL in points scored. They ranked second in yards, first in fumbles lost, third in team turnovers lost, second in first downs, second in yards gained by passing, fourth in touchdowns, fifth in interceptions. So you can clearly see that they had one of the most prolific offenses in the entire National Football League that year. Now, their rushing numbers were a little bit low. They ranked 17 in rush attempts that year. They ranked 20th in rushing yards. They ended up ranking third in rushing touchdowns, but they ranked 24th in rushing yards per attempt. But again, keep in mind, they were a heavy pass-first team at that point. But what I'm really excited for is to see the potential of the guys that we have in-house, because especially in 2022. This was such a non-structured and such an undisciplined team, and Bill O'Brien is going to come in and make sure that is all tidied up by the start of preseason. Bill O'Brien will yell at you. Bill O'Brien will get in your face. He will publicly humiliate you, but that is to get the best out of you. We know that from when him and Brady were yelling at each other and screaming at each other on the sidelines. That's exactly what the Patriots need. They had so many unneeded penalties that last year that put this team in so many unfavorable positions. Now, whether that was wide receivers, false starts, something that Kendrick Bourne actually struggled with a lot, whether that's concentrated drops, whether that's several false starts on the offensive line, especially with our tackles that were constantly putting our team, 1st and 20, 3rd and 15. And we just didn't have the offense or the play caller to be able to convert long plays like that. Something this team, in general, for decades since Bill Belichick has gone here, is for doing the right things, beating the other team by being the more disciplined team. And last year, the Patriots really lost several games because they were just never a disciplined team. And Bill O'Brien is going to come around and 100% change that. And that is something that I am so excited for. But what are your guys' thoughts on Bill O'Brien officially becoming the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But like always, I appreciate you guys for watching. And go Pats.